I am here in Shenyang, the capital of Liaoning province and the ancestral home of the Manchu people. I'm here with my friend Anish, who's over visiting from Australia, and we are at the tomb of Huang Taiji, the founding emperor of the Qing Dynasty. I have to say it's quite a lively place for an emperor's tomb. We've got all sorts of like a theme park thing and stuff for kids over there, and then there's a whole park over at the other side with all sorts of rides and stuff. I wonder if the emperor would be happy that all the kids are enjoying themselves and playing around his tomb, or if he would be miserable and he just wants to rest in peace. I love it. This guy's just out here doing karaoke at the emperor's tomb, just completely not caring what anyone thinks about him at all, just living his best life. And then we've got some ladies dancing here as well. Well, here he is, the man himself, Huang Taiji, the Emperor Taiji, the coolest name for an emperor you could imagine. The founding emperor of China's last dynasty, the Qing, which was overthrown in 1911, ending over 2,000 years of imperial rule when China became a republic. So Aixin Zhueluo is the Chinese rendering of his Manchu name, and then Huang Taiji is his Chinese name. 1592 to 1643. So here you can see on this big stone stele, you can see Manchu script, Chinese script, and I'm assuming the fact that there's two scripts that look the same, I don't know enough about it, but I assume one would be Mongol and one would be Manchu. Probably the central line of text would be Manchu, and then the one to the right would be Mongol. And then the left one obviously is Chinese. Because the Mongols and the Manchus are kind of considered sort of cousin ethnic groups, I suppose. They consider themselves brothers in some way. Some ladies doing some Xinjiang dancing over there by the sounds of the music. And they got like a dragon totem pole behind them. And there's one on this side as well. So an interesting thing, if we look at this totem pole type thing, is that the English word shaman or shaman actually comes from the Manchu language, and so shamanism was their religion before they adopted more mainstream Chinese culture. So I want to just interrupt this video briefly to talk to you guys about a product that I use quite a lot myself. Now, I think you know me well enough by now to know that I would not endorse just anything. If I'm going to promote something, it's only going to be something that I truly believe in and something that I genuinely do use myself. Some of you may know that I also work as a journalist and geopolitical analyst. And having this line of work has made me acutely aware of the biases that are present in a lot of mainstream media reporting on world events. And as such, it becomes harder to know what's really going on and to separate reality from the narratives that are being spun. And so one of the products that I use to get around that is something called Ground News. Ground News is an app and website that combines news from around the world in one place so you can compare coverage. For every news source, you can see if they have a political bias, how reliable their reporting is, and who owns them. You can verify your information and know where the news is coming from. With Ground News, you can see what the media is exaggerating, sensationalizing, over or under reporting. You can see who funds each publication, compare coverage, and think critically about the information you consume. Go to check.ground.news/monkeystealerspeech to check it out now. If you subscribe for my link, you get 40% off the Vantage subscription.
And so Shenyang, while mostly being a pretty standard modern Chinese city these days, has, as you can see, a very, very fascinating history. Aside from being the ancestral home of the Manchu people and being the place where the Qing Dynasty was established before the emperors relocated to Beijing, it's a place that's gone through a really, really, really diverse and fascinating history of different rulers and peoples. It's passed back and forth between Han Chinese control. For a few hundred years, it was even part of the Korean Goguryeo dynasty before it was taken back to Chinese rule. It was the capital of the Liao dynasty, which was another steppe people, the Khitan people, who pretty much disappeared from history entirely. They got pretty much wiped out and sort of absorbed into other ethnic groups over time. And then it was the capital of the Qing Dynasty, the Jurchen people, and then later the Manchu people, who actually are the Jurchen people. So this is the path that only the emperor would be allowed to walk along. Obviously there's no emperors anymore, so now nobody can walk along it. But as you can see, it's all fenced off, and us common folk have to walk along the side. I think that guy looks like he wants to climb over and walk on it. And so as you can see, going all the way up, it's all fenced off. The central part of the stairs is fenced off. And then even the main gate is closed, and you have to walk through the side gate. So this stone archway dates to the reign of Emperor Xuanzhou Kangxi, so like early 18th century, like 17 something, or even 16 something perhaps. So the later emperors of the Qing, they gradually absorbed more and more aspects of mainstream Han Chinese culture and kind of integrated and assimilated much more into Han Chinese, into the Han Chinese way. They gradually replaced Manchu with Mandarin as the official court language and slowly gave up the original ways of the Manchu people. But these early Qing emperors, such as Huang Taiji here, they maintained a very strong sense of Manchu identity. They kept themselves quite separate from the Han Chinese subjects that they ruled. You know, they insisted on, they kept their Manchu language as the court language. They kept the steppe culture alive, practicing horsemanship, archery, wrestling, all sorts of sort of steppe ways of life. They also organised these big royal hunts, and the hunts were a very important part of Manchu life. Interestingly, the last emperor of China, Puyi, the final descendant of Huang Taiji, whose tomb we're at here, he ended his life as a common gardener in Beijing. After going through political re-education, he became a good friend of Chairman Mao. I think Mao viewed it as quite important to have this friendship with, the last emperor of China as part of his own legitimacy. But yeah, Puyi never had any children, and so the bloodline and any direct claim to the Qing throne was therefore impossible. There are still descendants of the Manchu royal family, not direct, but those from the extended family from the Manchu courts, still alive in China today. And most of those people nowadays are working in academia, as professors of, anthropology and cultural studies and things like that, mostly just researching and preserving Manchu culture and Qing Dynasty history. Quite often they'll be hired as consultants for period dramas about the era, where they'll give advice on, court etiquette, traditional Manchu culture, things like that. Tomb, I think, is behind this wall, and I don't think you can actually go to it, but it's a great big mound. I did see it. I think if we go up these stairs up onto the top of this gate, we might be able to see the tomb of Huang Taiji. Oh, it's like walking up the Great Wall. Compared to the hustle and bustle and liveliness of the park surrounding the tomb, it's actually incredibly peaceful. The tomb itself here, it's just, other than me talking on the camera, it's pretty much completely silent. And if you look behind me, you can actually see the modern city of Shenyang in the background, behind all these traditional roofs. And here is the tomb. The founder of the last dynasty of China, right here. I wonder if he'd ever be able to envision what China's like today. It's fascinating. You just really never know which way history's going to go. And what we look at as history and inevitable now is just one possibility in a series of events that could have taken place, a series of paths that China could have gone down.